Peace, everybody. What's good? It's that boy, Coach Malachi Williams, and you are now tuned to True Media Today USA Boxing. Let's go.
For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
All right, everybody, check this out. Yesterday I was looking at Twitter. I did see a lot of tweets that was posted by Ivan Redkach yesterday, basically saying that, his promoter is the one that's stopping him from having the Adrien Broner fight. I also saw an interview that was put together by the Spit Bucket Podcast, which is pretty good. Shout out to those boys, Spit Bucket Podcast, where Ivan Redkach, I think one of his representatives or his interpreter, explained that the promoter, his promoter, was the one that's stopping this fight. I also saw a video by Fred Barbershop Conversations basically saying that what's really going on is Haymon is the one that's stopping this fight from happening through Ivan. So he said sources say, not so he said allegedly. He said allegedly, because everything was fine with Ivan Redkach, going through with the fight and stuff like that. But then all of a sudden this comes out of the blue. In boxing, there's a lot of power brokers that stop fighters from fighting. I tell you guys time and time again, boxers are slaves in the sport of boxing. These are the words that I am using. What do I mean by that? The promoters, the financial advisors, they do not work for the fighter. The fighter works for the promoters and the promoters and the financial advisors. What do I mean by that? If the promoter or financial advisor said you're not going to fight, guess what? You're not going to fight. Now, the fighter is the one that's putting his life in the ring, putting his life on the line in the ring, but the power brokers tell the fighter what to do. When they say jump, the fighter got to jump. If they say you're going to fight, you're going to fight. If they say you're not going to fight, you're not going to fight. If they say this is what you're going to get paid, so be it. This is the way it is. There are very few, there's not a whole bunch of Canelos and stuff like that in boxing, not a whole bunch of Anthony Joshua's. You have the top dogs who pretty much have a little bit more say-so than most. But most of boxing is pretty much Ivan Redkach. There's pretty much Johnny Rice. They're pretty much just the average blue-collar, everyday fighter. You have the top-tier fighters, you have the mid-tier fighters, and you have the lower-tier fighters. Most of boxing is lower-tier fighters. That's just what it is. So, for whatever reason, I don't know what happened. For whatever reason, his promoter is the reason why this fight with him is not happening. I pretty much anticipate that BOK Prime will find a replacement for Adrien Broner. I won't say that this fight is going to be canceled. I think Adrien Broner will be fighting somebody on February the 25th. I think that will happen. So, I think that's the reason why BOK Prime never released tickets for the fight, never put the tickets on sale for the fight because of what was going on in the background. So I'm pretty sure they're going to have a backup plan. Now, I do know that there are some power brokers, not a lot, but some power brokers that don't want BOK Prime to win. And it might be some people, and there might be some validity to what Fred Barbershop Conversation is saying, that from the PBC side, they don't want to see Haymon, they don't want to see Adrien Broner win, and they may be trying to sabotage Adrien Broner. I don't know. I don't know if they're trying to sabotage him, but based on what Ivan Redkach said, his promoter is definitely trying to sabotage himself. His promoter's trying to sabotage Ivan Redkach, and now he's not able to fight, for a bag. He's trying to get paid some money. He's not able to fight for it. So it is what it is. This is how things go in the sport of boxing. I do want to see Adrien Broner eat. I do want to see Ivan Redkach eat. But this is what it is. These promoters, man, they do everything in their power to stop you, and they act like they have so much control over you, and they treat fighters like slaves. And, so shout out to those guys at the Spit Bucket Podcast. That was a great interview. You really gave some good insight. It gave us some good insight as to what's going on. Ivan Redkach did not blame BOK Prime. He said it was not their fault. It wasn't Adrien Broner's fault. So we're going to throw that narrative out of the way. But mysteriously, all of a sudden, I think a month, we have a month until this fight was to happen. Ivan Redkach's promoter, who's going to get paid off for this fight, decided to do what he's doing for whatever the reason may be. You have a bunch of fighters you have quite a few fighters that you're not really doing anything with. So it is what it is, man. It's the politics. I think every fighter should be a free agent. I don't think fighters in today's time should be signed to promotional companies for long term. I think that fighters need to work with fighters. I think fighters need to work with promotional companies on a fight-by-fight basis. If you work with them on a fight-by-fight basis, you keep them honest. When you have a love affair with the promoter or financial advisor, and they have that much control over your career, then they can stop. You know, if they get mad at you, they could be very spiteful and vindictive and say, well, you know what? Well, I'm not going to let you do anything. That's how much power and control that they have in this sport over the fighters. So again, the fighters are the slaves in boxing. That's what I'm saying. I don't care what no one else says, because what I see tells me so. But shout out to Ivan Redkach, man. I hope that you can eventually find a fight later on down the line. We saw the same thing happen to Anthony Peterson, with his old manager, stopping him from fighting on the Tank Davis undercard. And the PBC just pretty much scrapped it, did not allow him to fight. So things like this go on all the time. If you are a fighter in the sport of boxing, man, let me tell you something. Once you become a free agent, you better understand what it means to be a free agent. You do not sign any long-term contracts with these guys. The boxers are going to have to take the power back, because if you don't take the power back, things like this will happen. See you guys today at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Once again, it's on as our boy Coach Malachi Williams signing out. True Media Today USA Boxing. We are the truth. See you guys today, 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You know my motto. Don't beat me there, beat me there. Peace.
Man, I'm out of here, bro. Let's go. Come on.